paint a picture of what your country is like. If you were to describe it, what would you say to people?
Yeah, so Yemen is very sunny. We have lovely weather, so it's not very hot in the summer and it's not very cold in the winter. I lived in the mountains, so our holiday, like weekends, we would go hiking in the mountain, like me and my friends. That was our walk. So it was a very tiny town, city, very beautiful.
In turn to you, Khaled, then, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what country that you originally came from?
My name is Khaled Jawad Hussaini. I'm from Syria. I came from Jordan since 2018 to England. I left Syria in 2013.
And what was it like living in Syria for you? Can you describe what Syria is like?
It's like a life for me. I can describe myself like a fish without water.
And do you have lots of animals at home?
Yes, it is. There is many. Like, we got a cow, sheep, and chicken as well. It's my favorite one, it's a cow.
So would you say that you had a very happy childhood in Syria?
Yes, it is.
What were your favourite things to do?
When I was there, just playing football.
Playing football?
Yeah. That's the best thing that's the most sharing point with my childhood. Playing football.
And do you play football here?
No.
No. Do you miss it?
It's quite like, yeah.
Maha, what was your reasons for leaving the Yemen?
So Yemen was like a normal country. I was planning actually to get married in Yemen and settle because I had a very good career in there. But just one day we woke up and it was like a war between us and Saudi. Nobody even thought it will happen or something, because one day I was at work and the next day I didn't even take my equipment back home because I thought next day I'm going to work. But next day Saudi was firing like on Yemen. It was siege and there was no airports and it was just a war. And they actually said it will only be for 2-3 months, so just calm down and we will finish this war very quickly and you will go back to your life. We had no electricity. Just one day we had no electricity, there was nothing, no life. We waited, but the war never finishes. It's been 6 years now. So I left my home and my town when it was actually nothing left in it. So when I went inside my house, there was a street and trees and animals and people walking. 1 week after that, because I was locked inside the house, when I left, there was not even roads because it was all destroyed.
What were your reasons for having to leave Syria?
We started the war in Syria. I was so young, so I couldn't remember anything when I was there. Just we straight away lost our dad. In that point, I grew up like 10 years. I said, just stop. I don't want to lose any family member anymore. Just we have to leave. We have to find a safe place. Even we're gonna leave our life, our last life in a tent forever. Just I want to leave. There is no safe place.
I wanted to ask you those questions about the countries that you came from, what life was like, and the reasons why you left, was because it leads into the next part of this interview, which is sometimes in Britain, some of our media they write very difficult, harsh headlines about people that are seeking asylum in the UK. And the whole purpose of this interview is so that we can kind of like shine a light on the fact that you are the humans behind these headlines, that you are real people, that you've come from very difficult life experiences, and just like us here in the UK, you have dreams and aspirations and you have hopes for the future as well. When you think about some of those headlines that some of our British newspapers write about those seeking asylum, how does that make you feel? We'll start with you, Maha. How do those headlines make you feel?
I sometimes, when I read them, I feel like it must be a joke. It's like, maybe they're very, very little number, and nobody actually reads them, because it just feels like it's very painful. And why would somebody write such thing? That's how how I feel. So I avoid them. I avoid all news at some points, because we were the news, and it's like, you don't want to be the news, and it's like all your life you are being the news. So yeah, when I read them, I just really hope that nobody's reading them. I only read the headlines, and I just I feel I want to think of the best. I don't want to live thinking that people hate us, and it just, you're not going to live them. So it's avoidance and ignorance. Yeah, it's a mixture.
What I would say back is that unfortunately some of our papers are very powerful, that we have these kind of political papers, right-wing and left-wing papers, and some of them are very powerful and people do read them.
Yeah.
That's the scary thing, that people are reading these headlines and they are taking that as the truth. What would you say to those people that do read those headlines and see that as their truth around people that are seeking sanctuary in the UK?
I think I would say that just think about why people are writing these things. Is it like spreading fear? Do we want to live in fear? That's the question. Do you want to have this image in your head that everyone from abroad are scary and they're not human, or maybe they just came for the money, or these things? Just think of it that way, because the world is so big. It's more of knowing other cultures, and maybe you try to travel around, because I know most of us are forced to travel around and stuff, but at some point it's really beautiful to be out of your own country, and you miss it, but then you're bigger as a human being by knowing other cultures, and you just grow as a person. So I would say that to people who are reading these as well, it's like, how much of this is true, and most of the things we read these days, we don't believe it. So do you really want to believe these things just because they go for whatever agenda you want?
I feel uncomfortable because sometimes I used to be like, as those people, the journalists that they write of them. We come to find a safe place for us and for our families.
Absolutely. And just finally then, for those journalists that write those headlines, or for those people that read them and believe that to be their truth, what would you say to them?
Yeah, just please put yourself in our space. Think twice before you write any word that you're gonna disappoint the people you write of.
Maha?
I would say just you are changing the community and the society, because when I hear older people talking who are not from the UK, they say it was so different, it was so beautiful, and everyone used to smile, and everyone used to say hello when you walk, and you have changed a lot, and we only saw this reality, so we don't know how it was, but they really feel sorry for us, and they feel sorry for what happened. So I think just be responsible of what you're doing to the society. You're not actually harming only us, you're harming your own society.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That was really beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well
done.
that was nice.